بسم الله الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله رب زدني علما. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Ayah number 28. We did
Yeah.
27th ayah, I think, last time.
That's right.
لا يتخذ المؤمنون الكافرين أولياء من دون المؤمنين ومن يفعل ذلك فليس من الله في شيء إلا أن تتقوا منهم تقاه ويحذركم الله نفسه وإلى الله المصير. Very important topic, especially for Asians, or in Asia, especially for Muslims, Indian Muslims. قل إن تخفوا ما في صدوركم أو تبدوه يعلمه الله ويعلم ما في السماوات وما في الأرض والله على كل شيء قدير. يوم تجد كل نفس ما عملت من خير محضرا وما عملت من سوء تود لو أن بينها وبينه أمدا بعيدا ويحذركم الله نفسه والله رؤوف بالعباد. I think we skipped the translation of ayah 27 last time, so I am going to read that. You
Okay.
cause the night to enter the day, and you cause the day to enter the night, and you bring forth the living from the dead, and you bring forth the dead from the living, and you give provision to whom you will without measure. لا يتخذ المؤمنون الكافرين أولياء من دون المؤمنين. Let not take the believers, the disbelievers, as allies instead of the believers. ومن يفعل ذلك فليس من الله في شيء. And whoever does that, then note he has from Allah in anything that except you fear from them is a precaution. وَيُحَذِّرُكُمُ اللَّهُ نَفْسَهُ. And Allah warns you of Himself, and to Allah is the final return. قُلْ إِن تُخْفُوا مَا فِي صُدُورِكُمْ. قُلْ, say, whether you conceal what is in your breast, أو
Breast.
تبدوه يعلمه الله, or you disclose it, Allah knows it. يعلمه الله ويعلم ما في السماوات وما في الأرض. And He knows what is in the heavens and what is in the earth, and Allah is on everything all powerful. يوم تجد كل نفس ما عملت من خير محضرا. On the day will find every soul what it did of good presented, and what it did of evil it will wish if that between itself and between it evil was a great distance. And Allah warns you against Himself, and Allah is most kind to the slaves. بالعباد. What is this discussed in these verses? In these verses, Muslims have been instructed not to take disbelievers as their friends.
Yep.
Those who act against this instruction have been sternly warned. Those who take them as friends will find that their bond of love and friendship with Allah has been cut off. Any emotionally involved friendship that comes from the heart is absolutely forbidden, haram. However, a formal friendship at the level of mutual dealings is no doubt permissible, but that too is not favored if unnecessary. Verses dealing with this subject have appeared at many places in the Holy Quran with varying shades of meaning. It was said in Surah Al-Mumtahina, يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا تتخذوا عدوي وعدوكم أولياء تلقون إليهم بالمودة. O those who believe, and not take my enemy and your enemy as friends, having love for them. Then towards the end it was said, وَمَنْ يَفْعَلْهُ مِنْكُمْ فَقَدْ ضَلَّ سَوَاءَ السَّبِيلِ. And whoever from among you does this, he has gone astray from the right path. Elsewhere it was said, يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا لَا تَتَّخِذُوا الْيَهُودَ وَالنَّصَارَى بَعْضُهُمْ أَوْلِيَاءُ بَعْضٍ. Surah number 5, verse number 51. وَمَنْ يَتَوَلَّهُمْ مِنْكُمْ فَإِنَّهُ مِنْهُمْ. O those who believe, do not take Jews or Christians as friends, for they are friends among themselves, and whoever has friendship with them, he is one of them. And it appears in Surah Al-Mujadala, Surah 58, verse 28. Allah says, لا تجد قوما يؤمنون بالله واليوم الآخر يوادون من حاد الله ورسوله ولو كانوا آباءهم أو أبناءهم أو إخوانهم أو عشيرتهم. You shall not find those who believe in Allah and in the hereafter having friendship with those who have enmity with Allah and His Messenger, even though they may be their fathers or sons or brothers or members of their tribe. So now it's time to discuss the relations with disbelievers. Which type it could be. In verses cited above and in many other verses of the Holy Quran, Muslims have been strongly prevented from muwalat with non-Muslims. That is, from indulging in relations based on love and friendship. Looking at these clear instructions, non-Muslims who are not aware of the true intention and application of this rule start thinking that the religion of Muslims does not seem to have any place for toleration or bilateral relations or even common courtesy.
Yeah.
On the other hand, there are a large number of verses from the Holy Quran, the words and acts of the noble Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the practice of the rightly guided Khulafa and other revered companions, which bring to light injunctions and actual modes of dealing with non-Muslims by way of favor, compassion, generosity, sympathy, and concern, which has lit or no parallel in world history. A superficial look on these different attitudes may sense a sort of contradiction therein, but this feeling is a result of only a cursory study of the true teaching of the Quran. If we collect all verses of the Quran relating to this subject, which appear at several different places, and study them all together, we shall find nothing which could bother non-Muslims, nor shall there remain any doubt of contradiction in the text of the Quran and Hadith. With this need in view, will be given in a full explanation of this point, which will hopefully bring forth the distinction between various shades of friendship and the reality behind each of them. In addition to this, we shall also get to know what levels of friendship are permissible or impermissible, and also the reasons why a certain level has been disallowed. The truth of the matter is that there are different degrees or steps or levels in relation between two persons or groups. The first degree of such relations come from the heart, that of affection and love involving intense emotional commitment. This is called muwalat, or close friendship. This sort of friendship is restricted to true Muslims. A Muslim is not permitted to have this kind of relationship with a non-Muslim. The second degree is that of muwasat, which means relationship based on sympathy, kindness, and concern. It includes charitable help and support, condolence and consolation, and any well-meaning attitude of wishing well, bearing disbelievers who are at war with Muslims. This kind of relationship is permissible with all other non-Muslims. A detailed explanation of this approach has appeared in Surah Al-Mumtahina. Allah says, لا ينهاكم الله عن الذين لم يقاتلوكم في الدين ولم يخرجوكم من دياركم أن تبروهم وتقسطوا إليهم. Allah does not forbid you from treating those who do not fight you on your faith, nor have they driven you out of your home, with benevolence and equity. The third degree is that of mudarat, which means relations based on customary cordiality, adequacy in courtesy, pleasant and friendly behavior, and mannerly politeness. This too is permissible with all non-Muslims, especially so when the objective is to present them with some beneficial aspect of the faith, or when they are guests, or the purpose is to stay safe from any possible harm coming through them. The words, إِلَّا أَن تَتَّقُوا مِنْهُمْ تُقَاةً, unless you guard yourselves against an apprehension from them, appearing in this verse, mean this degree of mudarat, which in other words means that muwalat or friendship with disbelievers is not permissible except when you are in a situation where you want to defend yourself against them. Since mudarat or sympathetic relations somewhat resemble muwalat or friendship, it was exempted from the category of muwalat. The fourth degree is that of muamalat, or dealings. It means dealings and transactions in business or employment or wages or industry or technology. These two are permissible with non-Muslims, except when such dealings harm the general body of Muslims. The continued practice of the Holy Prophet ﷺ, the rightly guided Khulafa and other companions prove it so. It is on this basis that Muslim jurists have prohibited the sale of arms to disbelievers who are at war with Muslims. However, trade and activities allied to it have been permitted, also allowed, as having them as employees or being employed in their plants and institutions. To sum up, as for the 4 degrees of relations with non-Muslims, we now know that friendship which binds a Muslim in very close ties with non-Muslim is not permissible under any condition. Relations based on benevolence, human interest, and concern are permitted with all but the belligerent ones, Similarly, politeness and friendly treatment is also permissible when the purpose is to entertain a guest, convey Islamic teachings to non-Muslims, or to stay safe against being hurt or harmed by them. Now, let's look at what our Prophet ﷺ, who graced this world as the universal mercy, did for non-Muslims. He demonstrated such companions, generosity and politeness while dealing with them that it would be difficult to find its example in the world history. When Mecca was in the grip of famine, he personally went out to help his enemies who had made him leave his hometown. Then came the conquest of Mecca. All these enemies fell under his power and control. He set all of them free, saying, "La tathriba alaykum al-yawm," which means not only that you are being given amnesty this day, we are not censuring you at all for your past tyranny against us either. When non-Muslim prisoners of war were presented before him, he treated them with such tenderness which many cannot claim to have done, even in respect of their children. The disbelievers inflicted on him all sorts of injuries and pain, but he never raised his hand in revenge. He did not even wish ill of them. A delegation from the tribe of Banu Thaqif, who had not embraced Islam up to that time, came to visit him. They were given the honor of staying in the mosque of the Prophet ﷺ, a place regarded by Muslims as most honorable. Sayyidina Umar radiallahu ta'ala gave stipends and allowances to needy non-Muslims, means dhimmis, and elegant conduct, the examples of which are spread all over in the account of dealing credited to the rightly guided Khulafa and the noble companions. So let's bear in mind that all these were in one or the other form of muwasat, concern, or mudarat, cordiality, or muamalat, dealings. It had nothing to do with muwalat or close and intimate friendship which had been forbidden. The aforesaid explanations clarify two things. Firstly, Islam teaches its adherents all possible tolerance, decency, and benevolence while dealing with non-Muslims. Secondly, the superficial contradiction sensed with regard to the verse forbidding friendship with non-Muslims stand removed. However, there is a possible question which still remains unanswered. The question is, why has the Quran chosen to so strongly block close friendship with disbelievers? So much so that it has not allowed it in favor of any disbeliever under any condition. What is the wisdom behind it? One of the reasons, a particular one, is that Islam does not see men existing in this world like common animal or jungle trees and blades of grass which sprout, grow, flourish, and die, and that is the end of it. Instead of that, man's life in this world is a purposeful life. All stages and phases of his life, that is, his eating, drinking, standing, sitting, sleeping, waking, even his living and dying, all revolve around a central purpose. As long as what he does conforms to this purpose, all he does is correct and sound. If these are against that purpose, then they are all wrong. The poet said, Rumi said it so well. Zindagi as bahr zikro bandagi est, be ibadat zindagi sharmindagi est. This is Persian poetry in Farsi. The meaning is, the purpose of life is to remember the Creator and serve Him well. Life without that devotion is nothing but shame. In his view and in the view of all right-minded people, when man abandons this purpose, he does not remain the human being he was created to be. Achemi bini khilafe Adaman, nestand Adam khilafe Adaman. What do you see is a crowd of anti-men. They are not men, they are just the shell of men. The Holy Quran has made human beings declare this purpose as their solemn creed in the following verse. Allah says, قُلْ إِنَّ صَلَاتِي وَنُسُكِي وَمَحْيَايَ وَمَمَاتِي لِلَّهِ رَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ. Surah number 6, ayah number 162. This is that, say, O Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, my prayers and my sacrifice and my life and my death are all for Allah, the Lord of the worlds. Now, when it stands established that the purpose of man's life is to obey and worship Allah, the Lord of the worlds, everything else is, including all affairs of life in this world, business, government, politics, personal and social relations, must invariably follow this purpose. It follows, therefore, that those who are against this purpose are the worst enemies of men. Since Shaitan is the foremost in this enmity, the Holy Quran says, Inna shaytana lakum aduwwun fattakhiduhu aduwwa. Surely Shaitan is your enemy, so take him as enemy. Surah number 35, verse number 6. إن الشيطان لكم عدو فاتخذوه عدوا إنما يدعو حزبه ليكونوا من أصحاب السعير. Thus those who follow the alluring dictates of the shaitan and oppose the injunctions of Allah brought by the blessed prophets Alaikum can hardly be the kind of people to deserve deep love and friendship based on close ties and any degree of intimacy. It is just not possible for a person who has a definite purpose in life and who has all his friendship and enmities, agreements and disagreements subservient to this central purpose. To do something like this, the same subject has been stated in a hadith from Al-Bukhari and Muslim, in which the Holy Prophet ﷺ has been reported to have said, Man ahabba lillahi wa abghada lillahi faqad istakmala imanu. Whoever loves for the sake of Allah and hates for the sake of Allah alone has perfected his faith. Bukhari and Muslim. From here we know that Iman or faith remains incomplete unless man subordinates his love and friendship and his hatred and enmity to Allah Almighty. Therefore, any deep emotional commitment by a true Muslim in the known forms of love and friendship has to be exclusively for one who is with him all the way in the pursuit of this noble purpose and certainly obedient to what his Lord has commanded him to do. This is why the Holy Quran has in verses cited at the beginning of the commentary said that the one who maintains relations based on deep love and friendship with disbelievers is one of them. And the last verse means the verse number 30 says that Allah warns you of himself, lest you should indulge in friendship with disbelievers for the sake of fleeting interests and objectives, and thus invite the anger of Allah. And since close friendship mualat relates to the heart, and the affairs of the heart are known to none but Allah, it is possible that a person may actually be intensely in love for an friendship with disbelievers, but may deny it verbally. Therefore, the earlier verse 29 has already covered it by saying, what whether you conceal what is in your hearts or disclose it, Allah shall know it. No denial or false claim is tenable before him. Allah knows everything. Allah knows it, and Allah knows what is in the heaven and what is in the earth, and Allah is all everything, all powerful. So I think this is the whole topic, and this is full of knowledge for us because we live here and with non-Muslims,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
globally, I think Muslims are living uh, in the countries, and the non-Muslims as well, Jews, Christians, and everybody else. So, which stand should we take? Like, what should be our stand, and how should live our life? I think, yeah, we're gonna read, inshallah. Next, it will take some time, but we will, inshallah, ta'ala, learn, and we will interpret the ayahs that. I think we have done that. Any other any woman from the other religion can't be accepted.
Oh, yeah. And
We have
Surah
done that.
Al-Baqarah, I think. There was one on Surah Al-Baqarah.
Mm. Yeah, but if she is kitabi, if she has a religion, reveal something about from the skies, from the Allah Almighty, then it's permitted. If
Yeah.
she has right faith and correct and nothing mixed up. Okay, brother Ahmed. Now just you have to translate from ayah 27. That's good.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. You cause the night to enter the day, and you cause the day to enter the night, and you bring forth the living from the dead, and you bring forth the dead from the living, and you give provision to whom you will without measure. Let not the believers take the disbelievers as allies instead of the believers, and whoever does that, then he has no connection with Allah in anything except that you fear from them a threat, and Allah wants you of himself, and to Allah is the final return. Say, whether you conceal what is in your breast or disclose it, Allah knows it, and he knows what is in the heavens and what is in the earth, and Allah is on everything all powerful. On the day when every soul will find what it did of good presented before him and the evil it did, it would wish that there were a great distance between itself and the evil it committed. And Allah warns you against himself, and Allah is most kind to his slaves.
May Allah Almighty forgive us if we have done it before, and may Allah Almighty give us tawfiq to prevent and protect ourselves not to
Ameen.
step out. Next verses also are very joyful. We gonna Do them and we'll enjoy. قل إن كنتم تحبون الله فاتبعوني يحببكم الله ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم. Inshallah, tomorrow we're gonna do
Inshallah.
the same time, I think.
Ah, yeah, sounds good. Yeah, sometime works.
Inshallah. Okay, brother
Inshallah.
Ahmed. See you then. Take good care of yourself. Be happy
You
and
too,
healthy.
inshallah. Yeah, inshallah.
Inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi.
Wa alaikum salam wa barakatuh.